Forde, you challenged the group and told them what you expected to see tonight and hoped to see. It's fair to say you didn't get it.
Yes and no. Like I mean, with that too, like, you know, the old saying, like, you only got so many bullets in your revolver, right? And I feel like I've used them all up for the season. So, and in terms of like, what I mean by that, aggressive, like, you know, sending the message out with venom, it's you know, we're learning, and this is the thing that I've asked of the guys is, you know, how much do we retain the information? The language has been the same with anything, and so, like, okay, for example, like shot selection, like we don't talk about like miss or make shots. We don't, when we do critical film review, we don't sit there and go, oh, this is a good shot because it went in, this is bad. No, we talk about particular shots, you know, where we want to take those shots, and you know, the amount of times too where we've showed in our critical film review that, you know, the shot didn't go in, but it was a real good possession. And so, you know, while we try and execute it a little bit in the 5-0 and then we transfer it over to the game, to the practice session, the next step, I guess, is trying to execute that in the game. And, you know, when stress starts to build, whether it be from the pressure of the defence or you know, the opposition gets a bit of a momentum shift in their favour, if they get a bit of a run, if we find ourselves down 20 points, can we stay true to what we're trying to lock in as our home base defence, and what is our, you know, where do we value the possession on offence, and what do we value as a shot? And so, you know, I made that pretty obvious. That was my struggle, was I feel like we lose that vision a little bit. So that's what the timeouts were today, just to sort of realign ourselves and bring it back. But, you know, we played a little bit too fast. We played very too fast. It's not our style of play. And, you know, even to start the half, you know, we got stops and then we just turned it over down the other end, and we lock it down and we get stops, and then we just force a bad shot down the other end. So we're still learning, and, you know, I got to be conscious of that too, that, you know, we've changed a lot of things. You know, there's guys learning how, you know, I want things done in a particular way. So, you know, we're just gonna expand a little bit more in the classroom and what we do on court, and continue to grow and develop.
I think it's refreshing how honest and open you are with what you expect from the players and calling them out. And even at halftime, we called out a few of the defensive breakdowns from specific players. But I guess by doing that, you hope to get a response from the players at the same time. Do you feel like they need to respond differently or better to what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. And again, so this is, you know, maybe my wording was with a bit of venom, right, where I said we're either not listening or we're idiots, and I'm not calling anyone an idiot, and that's, I want to be clear, is that was not what I'm saying. Is I just don't think we're listening. And, you know, it's evident when we even do some little simple exercises. You know, I'll give out, you know, direction, and then you know, we mess it up right then and there. And I don't think it's anything to do particularly with, you know, the individual, you know, being rebellious. I think it's just another added learning curve. And for me as well, maybe my delivery needs to be a little bit more clearer. Maybe I need a little more visual. Maybe I need to be less verbal, you know, and this is what we discovered throughout the season. So there are, like, you know, there's things that I want to praise the guys on that they are doing a great job of. And, you know, there's things where we talked about earlier in the season, how to conduct yourself as a professional, your body language, your recovery, what you do off the court. And the guys have made some real leaps and bounds in that area. And it might be interesting to hear for some, but, you know, there's a lot of guys that are first-time professionals, and so, you know, they're learning this for the first time, and, you know, they're retaining that. They're doing a good job. You know, we got guys going through return to play timelines at the moment, and they're really focused in on looking after their bodies and getting right. And, you know, I've got to give them credit for that. So I have to be aware of the stress level. You know, there was a great atmosphere in the gym, and again, when Illawarra goes on that momentum, goes on that run, stress gets elevated and guys react to it differently. You know, we get a little bit tunnel vision, we get we get a little bit rattled, and we will get better when we experience that more. I need to do a better job of replicating that level of stress at practice, raising the level of intensity and adding that element of stress so we can condition ourselves for it a little bit better. So that's where, when we talk about like listening and retaining the information, is it's okay to do it when we're sitting comfortably at a cafe and we're chewing the fat, and then it's another thing when you're on an away venue and the odds are against you and it's starting to slip through your fingers, and okay, can you stick to the process, and can you stay true to it and not fall into bad habits? We're learning, and I love the boys that they're super responsive to my way of doing things.
Defensively, obviously, had its concerns, but 33 points over the last 3 quarters. It's a simplistic question, but how do you find a way to put some more points on the board?
Yeah, we didn't execute anything on the offensive end. A lot of it was unidentifiable. If we'd when we marked that down as we code the game, there's going to be a very large category called miscellaneous, and that was for the most part what the second half was.
And last one for me, just for you, Paul. That was a tough night, it goes without saying, but is it a good thing that in less than 48 hours you get a chance to play again?
Yeah, so move on to the next game, and yeah, Sunday game. So get ready for that and try to get that one.
Yeah, Forde, just from me, what did you think of Machado's form tonight? Is the injury still playing a factor in his game, or is it still just sort of getting back in the groove of playing?
So was that for me or Bull?
Oh, that was you.
To me? Yes. Yeah, like I said, he's still on the minutes restriction, so it's quirky where we're going to sub him in and out, try and find his form. The great thing about Scott, he's the ultimate professional. So the one thing, we went a little bit less tonight, knowing that fourth quarter was slipping away from us, knowing that we got a game in 2 days, and whatever I don't use tonight, I can potentially use against Adelaide, depending on how he pulls up tomorrow. So he'll find his way.
Would you like to see him more aggressive? The key obviously about injuries in mind, but there were times where he hesitated a bit and sort of passed it off to someone else. Would you like to see him be a bit more aggressive? It's
a bit hand in hand. I think we got to provide opportunities for him to be able to create. That was the thing. I think we were driving into lanes that weren't available. We were unnecessarily clogging up the key ourselves, even with the positioning. So. Once we get into a bit more flow and we got our, starting point guard, playing his style, and we can have everybody working around him, we'll be fine.
And just with Pinner, you said earlier this week how much you liked him, how you wanted to sort of reward him with the starting 5 spot. Did anything change, I guess, between Wednesday and today to sort of keep him on the bench at that start?
With Keanu, he just had a mild ankle sprain, and he was suffering from migraine throughout the week. So just with what we did prep-wise on the court and getting after Zim, we wanted to keep that starting 5, more so just because of the prep side of it, and Keanu was, recovering from a migraine.
And just defensively, especially at the three-point line, it seemed like the Hawks had a couple of chances and quite a bit of time to take some shots. Is there anything you want to see improve on the three-point line defence?
On the three-point line defence?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been probably another thing that we've highlighted, right, when we're talking about, retaining information is, our pick-up points were too deep on their best shooters, and then our hand was down, and, we have reference where we talk about guys that we want to chase off the three-point line on a closeout. We didn't chase them off, and they got to shoot it. So, that's definitely an attention to detail thing that we need to work on.
And just my last question for you, Paul, mate. In terms of being this your first year with the tight ends as well as Forde, what do you think, from a player's point of view, needs to change from a player culture? I guess, do you guys feel like you're giving it your all every game, or do you feel like there are moments or quarters where you're sort of hesitating?
Well, our culture is good. We got a great coach, and we're a great group. We're talented, but talent doesn't win you games, and so I think we just gotta figure it out, because coaches, he's tried everything, from yelling at us, challenging us, and so as a group we just got to respond better. So that's, yeah.